Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to another pick a card reading with your girl over here at scatterlovetarot. Sending little bits of love everywhere we go. I'm so honored to have you all here. I just want to say thank you so very much to anyone and everyone that has supported me in any way, shape, or form. I'm just so honored and blessed to have each of you here as a part of the tribe or just crossing paths along the way. It just means so much. We get to experience the energy of one another, and that in itself is such a beautiful blessing. For those of you that are new here, know that we are human. We welcome you with open arms, exactly as you are in this here now here moment. Knowing that we're all in this journey together, trying to figure it out as we go. No one has this life figured out or has all their stuff together or ducks in a row. And that's what makes it so beautiful, the experience in itself. So please come exactly as you are. Also, understand that these are general readings, so if they do resonate with you, when you hit that comment button, or that like button, you comment below and you subscribe to the channel, it does allow me an opportunity to connect directly with your energy to get you out more resonant readings. So please take what resonates and leave the rest. That's just for someone else, okay? So with that being said, the reading that we are doing today is what compliments do people give you behind your back? Just another fun reading. This beautiful cardinal just flew into the tree right next to me. What a beautiful bird. Such a vibrant colored bird. So bright red. It just came over, so that might mean something to some of you. Yeah, we're going to do what compliments do people give you behind your back. We're just going to see what comes up, right? It's always nice to know that we're appreciated by other people, even if they don't say it to our face. It just makes us feel good when we hear that we are being appreciated, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into your prayer. And today I did feel like amethyst. As you can tell, there's tons of amethyst out on my table. We've got all these are amethyst. This is blue agate. And we have amethyst for you to choose from. Why? Because it just felt like an amethyst kind of day. So that may be a stone that you resonate with. But it is definitely one that I resonate with. So comes the train. Are you gonna go out? Like, geez, there we go. Y'all, I'm fire today. My beloved source, this prayer is for all of my fellow humans that come onto this video. If it's just for a moment's time, or if it's for the entire time, I ask that you light the fire in our hearts. The flame that was going on as we started this, just seeing that we all have this beautiful, bright, shining soul waiting to be seen, waiting to be heard, waiting to be validated by ourselves within us. To know that if we're not receiving the love and validation and admiration from others outside of us, as a reminder to come within and to look within and to understand that that is up to ourselves to give it to ourselves, so that we are in a space of being open to receive that from others. From a sincere place, not from an egotistical place, not from a prideful place, but from a place of honesty and understanding of, if we don't believe in ourselves, we can never expect others to believe in us. And so I ask this wisdom upon those that are in this video. I ask that you give them guidance to finding what it is that they need, their specific type of nurturing, their specific type of truth that will help them excel at what they're doing in their life, everything that they're touching, right? For it is going to be different for all of us. Some of us need words of affirmation. Some of us need hugs. Some of us just need a supporting hand. Some of us just need someone to say that they're proud of us and that we've done a good job. So whatever it is, I ask that you encourage and help guide each and every one of those on this video to embrace what that is for themselves, to give that to themselves, and along with them giving it to themselves, I ask Source that you give them the confirmation that you too very much hold them dear. And with this confirmation, shall they know what that synchronicity is when it arrives in their life at the most unexpected but the best opportune time. As these words are spoken unto this space and upon my fellow humans here, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Aseh. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let me get that set up. We got some ash on the table. get that off over here. Okay, we're good to go. Alright, so today I'm actually going to do my astrology cards to pick from. These are the Heavenly Body Astrology cards by Lily Ashwell. I absolutely love these. The colors, you guys know I use these all the time. So these are just a beautiful deck to use, and she did such an amazing job with them. So let's go ahead and get a couple shuffles on this and pick out a couple cards to see what your reading's all about. Alright, so Source, for pile number 1, what oracle card will help us understand what compliments do people give pile number 1 behind their back? What compliments do people give pile number 1 behind their back? I felt it. Thank you, Source. And for pile number 2, Source, what oracle card will help us know better what compliments people give to pile 2 behind their back, Source? What oracle card for pile number 2? Okay. Thank you. Alright. And for pile number 3, Source, what oracle card will help us understand what compliments that people give to pile 3 behind their back? One card, please. Okay, so what is this one? Alright. Quick preview on the bottom of the deck. House 5. So a lot of compliments that people are saying about the collective right now. There's a lot of passion coming out, a lot of connecting with the inner child, a lot of playful, fun, creativity, being confident in who you are. Some of you may be singing just out randomly, listening to music, dancing, having a good time. And they're complimenting you on that because it makes them feel like they too can open themselves up to this place of fun and play. So for pile number 1, we do have this shard of amethyst for you to choose from. And for pile number 2, we have this tumbled piece of amethyst for you to choose from. And for pile number 3, we have this shard of amethyst to choose from that just gave me a piece of itself. These came from just like a rock dig, I guess. It's well, anyways, one of the places that I stayed at, they have this like water thing out there, and you go and you buy a bag of gemstones, and then you put the gemstones in the water and you go and you mine for them. And that's exactly where this one came from, where this one came from, and where this one came from. So it was a cool thing. I did not mine for them. I just got the gemstone bags and dug them out. I was so original with that. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Whichever one you are drawn to, that should be the pile for you, keeping in mind they are general readings. So take what resonates and leave what does not. And with that being said, I will see you over on whichever pile you chose. Hello, pile 1. This is if you were drawn to this amethyst shard, or if you were drawn to this card during the poll. This is going to be your reading on what compliments do people give you behind your back. We will start with the dice reading first, as always. And keeping in mind, they are general readings, so please take what resonates, leave what does not. Knowing also that if you like, comment, subscribe, and set the notification bell, it does allow me an opportunity to connect with your energy to get you out more resonant readings. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start your reading right away and ask the dice, Source, what compliments do people give to pile 1 behind their back? Source, what compliments do people give to pile 1 behind their back? What can we tell them? What messages do we have for them? What compliments do people give to pile number 1 behind their back, Source? Okay. So we have 7th house, Gemini, and North Node, I believe. Hold on just a second, let me double check. That is South Node. South Node. If you guys know, I am still mastering the North and South Node. I get them confused. It's okay though. One day I will have it mastered. I am just very human in this moment. So let's get this up here. Get that. Like this. And I like it that. Okay, perfect. So what compliments do people give you behind your back? They're actually really happy to be your friend. And they are excited because it's like you have a lot of friends, or maybe you don't. Maybe you don't have a lot of friends, but there's a lot of people who consider you their friend. Right? So maybe they're not really in your life like a friend would be, but they consider you their friend, and that's a compliment that they give behind your back. Like, oh, hey, Pile 1 is my friend. Like, I really like talking with them. When I actually do get a chance to talk with them, like, we have some great conversations. They're very smart. They're very intelligent. Yeah, sometimes they do have this really bright side, and sometimes they have this really dark side, but it's really good because it allows me to still be myself when I show up and talk to them. And they really do enjoy having those conversations with you. The compliments also that they give you behind your back that you're not aware of is that they're seeing you let go of things. So like if you've had some really rough relationships that have been one-sided, these people are saying, you know what, Pile 1 has let go of a lot of toxic relationships. They've let go of those losers that they were seeing, or they let go of those, you know, dirt bags that they were seeing, whatever it is, like those low lifes, or however you want to put it, right? Like, these are what they're saying. Like, they're saying that you are really looking at yourself right now, and that's very admirable. And they think that you are someone that they look up to. Like, it's someone that they can be like, if I were going to be like anybody in this world, I would want to be like Pile 1, because Pile 1 knows how to navigate a lot of life's trials and a lot of life's tribulations and a lot of upsets. You're very in touch with your emotions. You're very in touch with the things that are going on with yourself. That's not necessarily something that you give away freely, but that is something that you are in touch with yourself. And that is what people are saying. They're just saying they're really proud of you, and they think that you're very strong. And while you may have a dualistic side to you, there's this acknowledgement that that's what it is to be alive, is to embody and embrace this dualism. And that's what people are saying behind your back. Let's bring out my OGs. Yeah, they think you're a boss. Look, I split the deck, and we have the Emperor and the Six of Cups here. It's like people are saying that you are about to receive love, like, and they want you to receive love. Like, that's a compliment, right? Like, I want Pile 1 to have love, whatever that is. That could just be friends. That could be good coworkers. That could be a lover. It could be whatever, because they see you as someone who's come from the bottom. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team here. Started from the bottom, now we're here, right? Like, that's how they feel. They feel like you started from nothing and you learned how to really find your footing in the world, right? And they're just ecstatic. Like, I can't get over how ecstatic they are to be your friend. Like, they're just like so happy. And you may be like, I don't really have any friends. Like, no one's really, we're not like that, like this, that, and the other. But these people really think that just you having conversations, even every once in a while, they consider you a friend, and that's what they really like. Yeah, they compliment you on your spiritual journey. Like, wow, Pile 1 has, you know, when they first started, nobody really believed in them, and you know, now I see exactly why they did what they did, why they set out to do what they did. So, source, for pile number 1, what compliments do people give them behind their back? Thank you. What compliments do people give them behind their back, source? Pile 1. Thank you. For pile 1, what compliments do people give them behind their back? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see exactly what they're trying to say. All right. Look at that. You went from being someone who self-sabotaged yourself to being very mature with your emotions, very much in this. Look, and what did I say? They want you to have. Look at. Do you see this? Do you see this pile 1? Do you see? Are you looking at this? Do you see what's going on? Do you see what's going on? You have options. They want you to have love. But they want you to turn your back on someone who's not to your standards. They want you to fall in love with someone who is your match, right? They want you to have someone that is equally as stable as you are, as equally as mature as you are, as equally as, high standards as you are. They don't want you to settle for someone just because it's an offer. So people are complimenting you on how much you have overcome relationship patterns that were not serving you. They're complimenting you on the fact that they can look up to you. I feel like the people who look up to you also have experienced a lot of hardships in relations, but you're the first person that they've ever met that's actually done something about it. Like, you didn't just keep living the same life over and over again. Like, you're like, this is a problem and I don't want to live it anymore, because there's some realization here that it was self-sabotage. Right? I love that this came out together. I love the synchronicity already with the bottom of the deck. But they see you now as someone who's very emotionally mature. They see you as someone who doesn't freely give away your emotions either. It's like this energy of you need to trust somebody before you open up to them, but you are always kind. You are always compassionate, and you are always loving. You use your discernment. I love the King of Cups. This is Piscean energy. So we have water energy all right here. You have Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio coming out together here, okay? With this is saying you have a very deep emotion. Some of it's very mysterious, some of it is very mystical, and some of it is just very nurturing in itself, right? But there's this energy coming through of where you actually use your discernment to do what's necessary. And I love the King of Cups. No, it's not just because I'm a Pisces. It's because he's actually the oldest king in all the deck, right? Like, let's look at the King of Wands for a second here. Look at how basically they look like they're the same age, right? They look like they're the same age. But let's look at the King of Cups. Look at how old he is, right? This is a wise individual. He's very centered. He's experienced life. And this doesn't mean how old you are. This means that you have gone through some hardships. And people notice that, okay? They notice that you've gone through hardships, and they're complimenting on how much wisdom you have gained just from life experiences. You know how people always say, oh, once a cheater, always a cheater, or once a perpetrator, always a perpetrator. It's like they can't say that about you because they've seen you grow. Like, it's like once somebody gets with an abusive person, they're always going to have an abusive person in their life. So whatever it was that you were experiencing, you learned the lessons, you learned the wisdom from it, and you learned not to give away your emotions. Okay? And so they want you to get together with somebody who matches that. It's like they've seen you do the work, and now it's like people are complimenting you on the work that you've done, but there's also this feeling coming through of like, I really want pile one to succeed. It's like they deserve to have the love that they want because they've worked so hard for it. Yeah. Look at all this. This is exactly what I was talking about, like you overcoming, right? There's like this energy of being with people who had no emotional availability. And this was your weakness. You were physically and emotionally and mentally attracted to individuals who had nothing to give. And again, this doesn't have to necessarily be a romantic relationship. That could be friendships. That could be family situationships. That could be anything. Okay? Like, we have Pisces energy at the center of the reading. So Pisces energy is very synchronistic in this reading. You could have Pisces very highly aspected in your chart. You may be a Pisces moon. Okay? You also may be a Pisces in the 5th house, in the 7th house, in your south node, in your north node. Okay? You might also have Pisces in Neptune, in Jupiter, and in I just heard it and then it went away. Venus. Okay. There we go. We got it. So anyways, what has happened is that you've healed a wound, and people are complimenting you on how you've healed this wound. And that's the thing, like, where you may actually look younger in physical form, Okay? Where when you were younger, you didn't know any better. Now you're older and you do know better, and you look younger in physical form. But it's like you have the wisdom of years beyond your age. And that's what people compliment you on. They compliment seeing you come up out of these sticky situations. People who they only wanted to take from you. They didn't want to give to you. And the people who are complimenting you could actually even be in that group of individuals. They had no respect for you before because you just let them do whatever they wanted to, and then you set boundaries with them. And it was amongst those boundaries that they were like, whoa, okay, pile one they're not gonna settle for anything less than being treated with respect. There's this command of respect that's coming through here, right? And it has to do with your relationships. Especially with the 7th house coming through here. It's like you're learning how to communicate to source, to others, to yourself even, what it is that you want, because you're letting go of karmic cycles with the South Node. Letting go of the hurt and the pain. There's something about your eyes that's coming through here for me as well, where it's like maybe for so long you had a sense of sadness in your eyes. You know, if you look at this King of Wands, like his eyes look very like melancholy almost, right? Like they're just not very happy. Like the smile doesn't really reach his face. He's just kind of like, meh, you know, I'm here. And it's not like he's not an excitable king or anything like that. He is, but we have him here in the reverse. And it's like, that's the thing. It's like, people have always seen you as someone who's very happy-go-lucky, but in this, you have gifted away so much of your energy from the past, and now you're moving on from that. But look at this. Isn't this intriguing? With his cup facing all this darkness, you realize that this is what has made you so strong, and so you've forgiven a lot of people who probably didn't deserve forgiveness, so that you could free yourself from the emotional baggage of here. And if you're not there yet, it is coming, right? There's this energy of coming to forgiving others and letting go of the hardships and understanding that there's nothing that holding a grudge can ever change what has happened, right? And it's in that you actually learn that my cup is full because I learned these lessons. My cup is full because of the past lessons I've learned. And that's what people are complimenting you on. It's like they're complimenting you on taking the time to do self-love, to take care of your mind, your body, your emotions, to really hear it's highlighted your emotional well-being, especially with so much Piscean energy coming through here. You have this very unique way of taking care of your emotional well-being that people are complimenting on, because it's like maybe you've taken a lot of different tips from people, and it's like you finally found what worked for you, and you were willing to share that with others as well. It's like, oh, if you need to heal, try this. If you need to overcome, try this. And that's something that, you know, people, they're just a deep admiration here for you, Pile One, for what you've done. And so the compliments that are flying around about you right now are just how much people are so surprised at how much you've changed. Like, you're the person that is like fabled, right? Like, people can change, and it's like most people are like, yeah, right. Have you ever met a person that's changed? And the people that you know, they're like, I have. That's Pile One. They've changed. They've let go of what they used to be like. They're no longer doing what they used to do. They're no longer in that shadow energy. They helped me have courage to do what I needed to do. Right? And so that's what people are complimenting you on. Your boundaries, your emotional well-being, your ability to not stand in your own way anymore, and above all, how you're still, despite all of this that's happened to you, how you're still a kind-hearted person, and you really do show up in the face of compassion. Like, even if it doesn't go the way that a person expects it to or wants it to, you still show up from this place of compassion and love and gentleness. Yeah, look, with the 6 of Coins here in reverse. That's the thing. People saw you. They saw you not get treated equally. They saw you give and give and give and give and give until you had nothing to give, and you still gave. Look, on the bottom of the deck. They saw you in this self-sabotage energy, and I feel like there's a group of people here who've always wanted the best for you. They've always wanted you to do well, but they didn't feel like they had a say in your journey, and so It's like they're back there complimenting you behind your back. It's not that they don't want you to hear the things that they're saying. It's just that they want to see where it is that you're going to go, and they don't want to stand in the way of that. Like, it's not to give you a big head. It's not anything like that. It's just literally this energy of, I want to see them. I want to see them blossom into the being that I know they are. I want them to embody their full potential. And if it means sitting back here and cheering them on in silence, I'm going to do that. But I'm sure as heck going to watch every step of the way for pile one. And that's what some of these people are doing. And others are just shocked because you're no longer, this tells me for some, there's like this promiscuity energy coming through, especially with the King of Wands here. But this is talking about having an addiction, right? Or having toxic energy here that was just calling you back and keep calling you back, right? You may have had repeat failed relationships, but when you stopped and got out of your own way, and you're like, why? Why do all these relationships fail? Then all of a sudden it was like it clicked for you and you saw a pattern and you're like, oh, wow. And then you were able to look at that deeper, right? And as you looked at it deeper, you realized that it was because you were reliving old wounds. Maybe you got with people who constantly cheated on you. And cheating doesn't necessarily mean physical cheating either. People can cheat on people emotionally. They can cheat on people. I mean, mentally, I think that's just a human thing. But emotionally, right? Like, you could have deep, deep conversations with a person that you're not with. And not even friendship conversations, like conversations that you should be having with your lover. And that's something that's coming through here. Like, maybe you got with people who are like that. Or they may have been there for you physically, and that may have been the thing for you, but they're here for me physically. They're here for me physically. Like, they're not there for them physically, but they were there for that person emotionally. And after a while, there's like this sense of resentment. And that's what people are complimenting you on, is the fact that you never let that resentment be what guided you in life. You always let your love guide you. May you please have another clarifying card here, Source? Whoa, did you see that flying out? We have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, you started cutting people off, but the most intriguing thing about this is what people are complimenting you on is the fact that you cut yourself off from yourself. What does that mean? That means that you looked at yourself, you looked at your shadow self, and you said, no more. No more. Look, you have run rampant in my life for long enough. Okay, we have gone down your road time and time and time again, and that hasn't worked. It's not that you're wrong, it's just it hasn't worked out for us, so let's try something different. And you said enough is enough. And in that, you saying no to yourself and saying no to that want, that like almost deep-rooted need. It felt like a need. I have to have this. I have to do this. You said no. We're going to step back. We're going to take a look at this, and we're going to take a look at it from a distance and see what's going on here. And through that gave you an opportunity to look into the depth of your soul and who you are. Right? And that's not easy. That's not an easy feat. And that's what most people don't change, but that's what people are complimenting you behind your back, is how you change this aspect of yourself. Maybe you were known for being promiscuous. Even if you weren't, like maybe you had a reputation for being promiscuous just from gossip or from whatever. And it's like, now it's like people can't say that about you because you stopped doing those things that maybe tainted your reputation in that way. Maybe you didn't show up the way that you promised everybody you were going to show up, right? And again, it's like whatever the circumstance is that has been surrounding you, you said no. Enough is enough. I'm done with this. And in turn, you started cutting out people as well. Look at that. Boundaries. The Queen of Wands coming out on the bottom of the deck. Boundaries. And people are complimenting you on how beautiful and how handsome and how attractive you look now. Look at all this. This is like king and queen energy everywhere. They're seeing how balanced you are. They're seeing how strong. Like, the thing is here is strength. And we have so many queens. We have 3 out of the 4 queens here. And I did see the Queen of Coins while I was shuffling. Okay, but we have 3 out of the 4 queens here. Seeing how you've embodied now this feminine energy of receiving. While standing your boundary, it's no longer chasing something just because of this idea, that egoic need. You're saying no, like, I'm not chasing anything anymore. I'm doing what's best for me, no matter what that is. And listening to your intuition, and people compliment you on listening to your intuition. Hold on one moment. I need to go start that again. Okay. And I had to take the heating pad off of my puppy. Look, your intuition, wolf instinct. They're complimenting your intuition. Like, it's like they see you as someone who's mystic, like a mystic. They see you as someone who's very wise and intelligent, but someone who isn't afraid now of being a lone wolf, so that you can know what... Wow, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. So you can know what is next on your journey. And the wisdom comes from taking action for yourself. Wow. Just a second, let me grab a drink. I was truly fine until that came up. So hiccups of confirmation. And that wisdom came from taking action against maybe a family member, maybe family members, right? Friends that you considered very close. But it came from you taking action for yourself and saying, I set these boundaries. You know, the Queen of Wands, I always imagine her as being the one, like, if she was a being with her wand, like, if somebody wronged her, she'd go around, like, smacking people on the head, and it would say, like, common sense. Like, look, if you're mad at the boundaries that I'm setting, that's fine. Just have some common sense. I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to care about the boundaries that I have. But what I do need is your respect in those boundaries. It's like common sense. And that's exactly what she hits people with. And so that's what it feels like here. That's how I see her. Just see her. Let me hit you with this bat that I have called common sense, you know. And that's what it is. But it took you taking action and understanding your deep emotions, you know, especially with all three of these cards here. This is all emotion, and every emotion you have, nurturing, the unknown emotion, and that emotion that's dark, right? That deep, dark emotion that no one likes to really travel to, and you understood that. That's what people are complimenting you on, and they're complimenting you on your ability to find your truth in that. Look, your intuition. Your intuition. We have Peregrine Falcon here with observation. This is connected to the Eye of Horus, or also known as the third eye, our intuition. People are really complimenting you on your intuition. They're just like, wow, pile one is so intuitive. So you may be card readers, you may be palm readers, you might do candle wax reading, you may just have messages for people where you just have channeled messages for people and you just give them away. You may also just help people, give advice to people, and they're just like, wow, how did you know that? And you're just like, I don't know, I just felt it. Like the inspiration on the bottom. I allow inspiration to fill me so I can inspire others. Yeah, and you're an inspiration. That's something they compliment you on. They're just like, wow, pile one is such an inspiration in my life. Let's take a look at this card here. I was saying, like, you embrace the darkness. In this card, we have the moth, right? This is a moth. She's growing as a moth, not as a butterfly. You know, we always talk about butterflies, and they're so beautiful, and they come out during the day. But moths can be equally as beautiful, right? There's some very crude, like, insane-looking moths out there that would put some butterflies to shame. And that's exactly what it is here, because there's the darkness coming through here. In the dark of night, you found your truth. It was in the hurt and the pain and the suffering that you found your truth. And people they're awestruck by that. They're like, whoa, how did pile one do it? You did it from hard work, right? Or you're in the process of doing that right now. But looking at self, looking at the depths of who you are is something that's very important here. Understanding yourself so that you can blossom as you are, and know that not everybody's meant to be a butterfly, but because of that, it doesn't make you any less beautiful. It makes you equally as beautiful, just from a different aspect, right? And that's what's so wonderful about this. We have the truthful. I speak my truth, and I expect everyone I care about to do so too. And we have this coming out over the Queen of Swords, who's a very honest person. You're connected with Libra, the 7th house here, right? You have this very honest energy. You're very much in this place of justice. We have 33, a master number coming out, 3 being the number of creation, 3 also being the number that your angels, your guides are with you. They're guiding you. You're never alone. And so people are they're so shocked at the fact that you found your voice. You've opened your throat chakra. And that's the compliment that they're giving you. Yeah, and you've learned how to nurture yourself with this Fairies Earth Magic card. Like, you've learned what it was to speak light unto yourself. You know, most people beat themselves up. They spend a lifetime beating themselves up. And I'm not saying that you don't ever actually beat yourself up. No one's perfect at this. But you've come a long way from being down on yourself. People may have seen you actually physically say bad things about yourself all the time. Like, I'm a terrible person, or I'm ugly, or I'm stupid, or this, that, and the other. And now they see you saying, I love myself. I can't believe how far I've come. Like, I'm so amazing. And it's not in this, like, egotistical way either. It's just a very honest and non-judgmental way, right? And kindness. Number 12, fruit bat, flying fox. I love this synchronicity coming out because the whole thing that has been the truth of your reading, the main thing that people compliment you on is that no matter what you've been through, no matter the darkness, no matter the ugliness, and this is so synchronistic with the bat too, because so many people don't like bats, right? But they're very symbolic. They're very symbolic, and they're beautiful in their own right. Right? They're beautiful in their own right. It's like you went through the dark night of the soul. But in the dark night of the soul and finding that out, you never let that deter you from being who you are at your core. And that's a kind and gentle and loving person. Like, some of the things that, and I don't feel like people know your whole story, but some of the things that people know about your story, and they're like, if I had gone through that, I'd have turned into a raging beast in the world, and yet pile 1 is still this loving, gentle, beautiful person, you know? Sextile, a combination of tension and flow, potential and a rewarding situation. Didn't I say they want to see you come into your true potential? So what people are complimenting you on, you've come so far. I want to see pile 1 embrace their full potential. I'm actually going to read this for you out of the book. I haven't actually, I turned right to the page. Look at that. I opened up right to it. That's awesome. And I love this. Like, this gives me very much sacral chakra vibes. You know, like you've embraced, and again, that emotions. You've embraced that you have a right to feel the way that you feel. And to embody whatever that means. It says, when one planet sits 60 degrees away from another, they are in sextile. And symbolically, the gatekeepers to a beautiful healing. With diligent effort, this combination of tension and flow leads to great rewards. There is a point energetic flow between the planets involved. But like a garden, the relationship needs tending, and with guidance and nurturing, a sextile blossoms, bestowing its gift. It's important to identify this aspect because an ignored sextile is not only a missed opportunity, but easily misinterpreted as a block. In early life, a sextile may feel troublesome before it's identified and developed. However, if nurtured, sextiles offer harmonious support and growth and achievement. This is where your experiences are through potential and a combination of tension and flow, a rewarding situation. It says, clarify your intentions and move toward your dream wholeheartedly. But remember, an intention is a deeply rooted internal touchstone, not an external possession. It's your deeper purpose behind the thing you want. So, can you affirm your intention with prophetic specificity? Specificity? Yeah. Can you be specific? I don't know why I can't say that word right now. While allowing the shape of what you want to shift. Can you remain laser focused while trusting the hard lines of your target to form the closer you move towards it? Shift your focus from external gains to the internal desires of your soul. You're supported more than ever in making your dreams come true, but first you must be crystal clear on what it is you truly want. Hold on to your knowing and move through life with unshakable integrity. Your reward is coming. It's already yours. You're just catching up to it. So what people compliment you on is the growth and the healing that you've gone through. They see it. You may think that it's not something that stands out, but it stands out more than you know, and people are flabbergasted and applauding you for your efforts and for you changing your life, because in you doing so, it gives them hope that they too can. Okay, this is what I see for your pile 1. If it resonates, hit that thumbs up button down below, subscribe to the channel, and set that notification bell. Well, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here and get on out of here. But until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, pile 2. This is for those of you that were drawn to this tumbled amethyst piece, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle in the beginning, this is going to be a reading on what compliments do people give you behind your back. Keeping in mind these are general readings, so take what resonates and leave what does not. Also knowing that as you interact with the channel by commenting, liking, subscribing, and setting that notification bell, it does allow me an opportunity to connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. Just the way that pile 1 went, I ask that you keep an open mind. My readings don't necessarily go in one-word answers, and so I go based on the energy. I'm just bringing that out. I feel like I need to say it here for some reason. So, yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and start and ask the dice and see what's going on for pile number 2 source. What compliments do people give them behind their back? What compliments do people give pile number 2 behind their back source? Okay, so what do we got? 11th house, Virgo and the moon. How humble you are. Like, no matter what you get into, no matter what you do, you always arrive at a place of being humble and modest in everything. So you may be somebody who picks up things very quickly, and you still show up from this very humble place. Like, you're very much in this area of, I'm not going to show up and be a jerk about it. I really understand that, like, you know, I'm blessed that I'm able to do this, right? You also are someone who takes people's emotions very seriously, and that's why you may be surrounded by a lot of individuals, right? Because they, like, know that you're not going to make fun of them for whatever it is that they're feeling, and those things, that's what people are saying. They're just like, pile 2 is always caring about how I feel. Like, they always seem to know how to put themselves in my shoes, and they make me feel like anything is possible. No matter what I'm going through, they make me feel like I too can overcome that. But it's more than that. Like, this is like a healing energy. Like, people are complimenting you on the fact that when you come into a room, you heal. You heal without even trying to. It's like so natural for you. People also notice how detail-oriented you are. They see you as someone who likes to be a perfectionist, but like I was saying, like, even though you have that perfectionist energy about you, you're still very much in this place of being grateful that you're capable of having the skills that you have. Like, you're not like, ha, boo, yeah, in your face. No, you're like, oh, you know, it was not that easy. Like, maybe you should try it. Like, you encourage others to be their best selves when they're around you. And that's the compliments that people are giving you behind your back. They're just like, oh, pile 2 is just so good at making me feel calm and like I'm grounded, and like they're very down to earth, and they're very honest, and they're very much looking towards the future too, especially with this 11th house and the moon energy here. It's like this energy of making sure that people are set emotionally for the future. Like, let's heal now. Sorry, my dog is moving around. Let's heal now so that in the future you don't have to deal with this. Like, you want people to feel good about themselves. You want people to see who they are. You want people to excel in life. And that's what people are complimenting you on. They're saying, like, you're just very much this down-to-earth person, and you care so much about what everyone else is going through, and it just leaves people actually speechless. Like, let's be real, that leaves people speechless. It really does. They're just in awe. Like, I keep seeing a person with their mouth wide open, like, whoa. You know, like in cartoons and stuff, when they're just like the pretty girl walks in or the pretty guy walks in and their mouth hangs open and they're just like, whoa. Like, that's how they feel when you're around. They're just like awestruck by you, right? So let's get some tarot out on it and see what's going on here for pile number 2 source. What compliments do people give them behind their back? What compliments do people give pile number 2 behind their back? Source, thank you. What compliments do people give to pile number 2 behind their back? What compliments do people give pile number 2 behind their back? Thank you. What compliments do people give to pile number 2 behind their back? Source. What compliments? Thank you. What compliments do people give to pile number 2 behind their back? Source. Wow, that came flying out. Yeah, on the bottom of the deck. So we have the 7 of Cups in the reverse here. And this is saying that you've struggled with boundaries, right? Like, while you may encourage others, you've struggled with boundaries. You've struggled with superficial friends. And they're saying that you're moving away from that. You're moving away from being in this place of giving yourself to people who don't care. Okay, giving yourself to people who only want bad things for you or only want you for themselves, right? Sometimes we get involved with people who may not necessarily have terrible intentions, but they have intentions of like, I just want pile 2 for myself. I don't want to share pile 2 because that's it. And it's not necessarily a bad intention. It sounds like it could be, but it's just like because they want to suck up all your energy, right? And so you struggled with boundaries in the past. You've struggled with separating your emotions from others. And now, because you're in this grounded place, you've grounded yourself in your energy and in your empathy and in your ability to reach out and touch others. Why do I hear that song? Reach out and touch faith. Like, okay, so that may resonate with someone. But it's like you've gone from not being able to separate yourself to being able to separate yourself, but still at the same time being able to put yourself in their shoes. Not by absorbing their energy, but by feeling it and knowing what to say. And that's what people are complimenting you on. Yeah, you've been through a lot of imbalance in your life. Look at this. This came out in another pile. That's interesting. Look at this. Look at this. Exactly what I was saying. With this, I just want to talk about the 6 of Wands real quick here. The 6 of Wands talks about greed, right? Like, and when it's in the reverse, it talks about greed, like overwhelming someone from a not so good place. And that's the type of energy that's coming through. It's like people are complimenting you on letting this energy go, letting go of people who are like this, letting go of people who wanted you to stay unhealed, letting go of people who were feeding off of the mother wound that you had within yourself, this ability to not nurture yourself. And so people are now complimenting you on the fact that you're still staying humble, but finding it in your heart to humble yourself. We have the moon here twice, right? Those deep set emotions coming through here, that deep understanding of self, right? And it's like you have this energy of finally being able to understand yourself and letting go of this idea that I am what I'm feeling at all times, and knowing that I'm just feeling this, that doesn't make me who I am. And people are complimenting that because that has actually made you more of an attraction to people, right? Like it's like a magnet. People are more magnetized towards you because it's like very attractive, right? Hold on just one second. Okay, my apologies. My sick dog needed to go outside. So, yeah. Anyways, back at you, okay? So, yeah, there's this energy of having had a problem with, you know, being in a relationship or being with someone. This could be just one person who wanted to see you. I keep hearing fall from grace. They just wanted you to fall from grace. Like you are a fallen angel, right? And this fallen angel energy, it's almost like the demon side of things wanted to keep you in control of what they wanted for you. They wanted your energy, okay? And I'm not trying to scare anybody with that or anything like that. That's not what that is. It's just trying to paint the picture as to what it was. It's like this is like an energy that's holding on. And seeing that you were having and struggling to have boundaries with that. But then now people are seeing you move away from something that was very unfair, from something that was just it was a cycle in your life. So I feel like maybe this is just something that's coming through as a very specific story, but it's like this, like you were married to someone who was like narcissistic or a sociopath, and it's like you kept telling everyone, I couldn't get out, I can't get out, I can't do that, right? Like I can't get away from that. And then one day you had enough and you said, no, I have to get out of this. I can't do this anymore. I have to take care of me. And that's when this person like blew their rocker and they just really like showed their true colors to you, like even more so than they had before. And that was when you were like, saw how you hadn't set any boundaries with them. And because of that, they got access to you however they wanted. You know, I keep feeling like this is someone who, like, I keep seeing us like very sex oriented. Like, it's like this is someone who wouldn't leave you alone when it came to sex. It's like this is someone who wouldn't leave you alone. It was like when they wanted it, they had to have it. But whenever you would instigate it, it was like they would turn you away. But then, like, say you were really not feeling good one day. Like, you could have been sick, throwing up all day, and they wanted it when they came home. And they blamed you for not wanting it. Like, oh, you don't like me. You're not attracted to me anymore. And you're over there like, what the heck? Like, I'm literally puking my guts out over here. Like, I just want to sit on the porcelain throne for a while. Can you just leave me alone? And it's like, that's the type of energy here. And it was like that happened one too many times, right? I'm glad it did. I'm telling you, Pile 2, I'm glad it did. Because getting out of a situation like that, it's not easy. Okay, it's not easy to leave an abusive situation because you get so emotionally invested in it that seeing reason oftentimes is the one thing that eludes us in a situation like that, because it's like there's all the reasons why I can't, and it was like something happened to where you said, okay, what can I do? And that is something that they're complimenting you on. They're seeing how you took it to the next step and you finally got out of a situation that was like that. And it's intriguing because I'm going to get a clarifier card from this. I just happened to turn it over and look. The 7 of Cups is on the bottom in the upright here, showing that you finally set a boundary. And setting a boundary with someone who's never ever had boundaries with you, that's a difficult thing. You know, and there's always that fear of what are they going to say? What are they going to do? Like, are they going to treat me like this? Are they going to treat me like that? And most times, most people will respect those boundaries. And if they don't, usually they'll just vibe out of your life. But here it was like this fear. Look, the moon coming out in the reverse again. Look at this. Look at this. As I'm shuffling, and this is how they're coming up. So it's like not being able to set boundaries when it came to what you wanted and how you felt and nurturing yourself. Like that. Like, again, back to that example that I was giving, it was like, and people know this about you, like something they, and it doesn't have to be that extreme. It could be anything, really, but it feels extreme. Okay, I'm just telling you the energy here feels extreme. Like you've been in a really bad situation. Like you'd have been really sick in a situation, and because this person made you feel really bad, you still gave them what you wanted, even though you had no energy. You had no. It's like basically if it was a sex situation, you're just literally laying there like, when is this going to be over with? I'm done. I can't do this. Like I don't even want to be here. Like you're not even enjoying it. And it's almost like this person was so blinded by the fact of just their wants that they had no connection with how you were feeling. It was like they didn't care whether or not you enjoyed it. They just wanted it for themselves. Like, and again, I'm not trying to trigger anybody here, but that's what people are complimenting you on, because it's like, somebody in your energy knows how bad things really were. How you kept going back to a past situation. Okay, this could be someone that you just felt so attracted to. This could be someone that you just felt so, like, I need them in my life. But realizing that this is what was standing in your way all along, and now you're moving away from it. And that's what people are complimenting you on. And you're still staying humble. Like, it's like, now that you're realizing who you are and committing to yourself. I love that the Pope came out right here. Now that you're learning how to commit to yourself, you're actually seeing just how incredible and amazing you are. And that's what people are complimenting you on, is how humble you're staying. Like, even though you were in a situation where the person you were with, and it could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a past lover, whatever it was, even though they weren't humble, like they were just very grandiose and they were very much like prideful, and they had all this energy that was just really crazy. It's like you're still in this place of being sincere and kind and generous, and you help others. Like maybe you don't realize you help others, but that's what people are complimenting you on. This resonates with one of the other piles as well. A little bit different. Well, it's a lot different. The energy is a lot different, but there's a message here that's underlying about going through a difficult, terrible situation, but in turn healing yourself, and in the process of healing yourself, realizing that you're actually healing others as you heal yourself. And you may notice that people come to you for advice now where they didn't before, right? And that's because they're seeing how far you've come. They're seeing that you've overcome something that felt impossible. And again, what I gave as an example, that doesn't necessarily have to be your situation. That's just the extremity of the situation. So maybe you're like, oh, my situation wasn't that extreme. You might not feel like it is that extreme, but when you're experiencing it, it feels just that extreme, right? Yeah, they're saying that you've overcome being in this place. So when the Ace of Swords comes out in the reverse, it's talking about being conceited in your thoughts, okay? Like, basically, I know what I want, and I know who I am, and no one can teach me anything new. Like, this is like a very stubborn energy. It's like, I know everything, and no one can tell me any different. So it's like, while you may have known this was a terrible situation, you also at one point didn't want anyone telling you it was a terrible situation. And it was like everybody left you alone to figure it out on your own. And with the Ace of Swords coming out here on top of the Six of Wands, it's showing that you really had to figure this out alone, right? You had to figure this out alone. And that's what makes you so amazing in people's eyes, is because it's like you were strong enough to figure it out. You didn't just let the situation continue to suck you back in. Yeah, this definitely might resonate with another pile for you, but we have this emotional maturity that has come out from this, and this new confidence coming through here. And also options. I feel like this is for you, options, and that's what they're complimenting you on, because it's like now pile 2 is in a place where they get to choose who works best for them, and that's a good place to be at. They see you as someone who's very wise. They see you as someone who's very action oriented. They see you as someone who's creative. They see you as someone who is very much in this place of taking the hurt from the past and using it and creating some kind of artistic product from it, whatever it is, right? Art comes in many, 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 many different forms. Many, many different forms. But they see you as someone who's grown beyond, like you went from the Seven of Cups in reverse straight up to the King of Cups. Like, that's a huge jump. You went from being someone who listened to others' opinions and took that as your own energy, to now understanding who you are and separating yourself, right? And I said that in the beginning where we were talking about the Seven of Cups in the reverse here. It's like having no separation between you and another person's emotions. And now you know what you are, who you are, you know the energy that you hold, and you're able to leave that separate from others. Like if you're feeling a certain way, you're like, oh no, that might not be my energy, right? You've come into a place of balance with yourself. Like this is equal give and take with yourself, right? And that's what people are complimenting you on behind your back. They're like, wow, pile 2 went from a situation of just giving and giving and giving to healing their heart and coming into this place of having a synergistic flow, right? And synergy, the easiest way to explain synergy is the trees breathe in oxygen, or they breathe in CO2, which we breathe out. They produce oxygen, which is what we breathe in. And so you see this continual recycling, but without one, the other does not exist. Do you see? And so we recycle each other and we create a synergistic flow between us and the trees, the birds and the bees. It's like bees go and they pollinate flowers, and the flowers give them nectar for their honey. That's a synergy, right? This equal give and take. Well, it's almost, well, I guess I ought to, because I was going to get another one from here, but I guess another one wants to come out. No. Okay. So I actually just wanted the bottom card to change. Activation. Yeah, you're activating your gifts now, and people see you as someone who has gifts. This is, to me, this is more than just psychic gifts, okay? This is like you're tapping into a deep wisdom within where you're capable of understanding how to help people, how to give them advice, while also not being so attached to the outcome of that advice, right? And that's a deep wisdom. You're turning into a leader. And people see you as a leader, and they see you as someone they could follow. They see you as someone they look up to. And that's what they're complimenting you on. They see you transforming. Number 18 with Sea Otter, transformation. They see you turning into something new. Finding out your truth in your emotions here, right? Water equals emotions. And so it's like you're learning who you are through your emotions, understanding that it's okay to let your emotions guide you in life. Wow, that just really wanted to come out. Look at this. This is a new one. This looks like a robin to me. Look, a lot of emotional heartbreak. This looks like the moon with a robin right here. And then robins mean family, right? Like that means family. And it looks like you carried a lot of emotional upset on your back from family situations. But when you chose to put that down, look at how beautiful you are here. Now you're connected with the divine and your divine path, and you're making your way away. Like here's this house in the back. You're making your way away from home, right? There's a lot of growth. There's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of newness here. And finding your truth and speaking and walking in your truth is something that's very important for you now. It's like actually being able to say what I need to say and know that it's okay that I say that. Know that it's okay that I feel that way. Know that if somebody has a problem with that, it actually has nothing to do with me. And this is something you keep in mind is what you've experienced. It's something that you're always looking back on saying, okay, while that may seem like a memory of the past, I also see this as something that's guiding me to opening myself up to my truth. The homebody, number 40. I enjoy the secure base I have made for myself and my loved ones. Yes, this feels like, look, you're leaving home because you're home. Does that make sense? Like you're leaving what once was home for you, what you thought meant to be home. And you're realizing that as long as you're there, you're always home. So it doesn't matter if you move to a new place, you're already home. If you go someplace out for the day, you're already home. Like you're where home is. And that's something that is coming through for you. It's like you may like to stay at home a lot. You may like to go into hermit mode a lot, especially with Virgo energy here. However, this is just saying, like, for you, you're understanding that home is not the house I live in. Home is not the people at home. Home is where I am and what that means to you. So we're going to check out your oracle card here, and I'm going to read this to you from the book. See what it is here. Virgo. Virgo and Virgo. You may have Virgo highly aspect in your chart. We have integrity, reverence, and service. Look, and we have the angel wings up here. You're being guided, right? You're being guided to something very beautiful here. Your guardian angels have helped you every step of the way. You've helped heal your broken heart. You've come into a place of having integrity for yourself and honoring yourself, while also being able to serve others, right? So I'm saying, like, a lot of people may be asking you questions now, and you may be like, why are you coming to me for advice? And it's because you have in your heart this need to service others. So we have, for Virgo, if the natural world is a physical expression of the heavens, Virgo's purity is like an X-ray of divinity. This meticulous energy lives with reverence and integrity and an embodiment of spirit. Its ultimate goal is to be of service to self, spirit, and others. Virgo is practical and modest, yet poetic and profound. Its ruling planet Mercury floats freely between the earth and heavens, a messenger between worlds. And so beautifully, Virgo embodies the same energy through regularity and ritual. It is organized and can be perfectionist, introverted, and quietly observant. Its people are connected to the body and particular about food and environment. Its link to the zeitgeist, the spirit of times, gives it a finger on the pulse, creative flair. The Virgo shadow can be obsessive and solitary with impossibly high standards. It can be hypercritical, but more of self than others. So we have integrity, reverence, humility, going inward, attention to detail, rituals, being of service. The shadows here are overly perfectionist, self-critical, and possibly high standards. But we have, in mythology, virgin energy means whole and complete. And similarly, Virgo, the virgin goddess, asks you to strip away the not you layers. Wasn't that what I was saying with the 7 of Cups here in reverse? That clog your vessel. These may be unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, or damaging thought patterns. And we talked about that in the reading. This cleansing force comes to guide your body, mind, and spirit back to its natural state of grace. This humble energy knows the most profound way to create change is through small, consistent actions. So, what are your daily embodied rituals? Are they in support of your higher self and ultimate purpose? Service your life so you may be of service to self, to spirit, and to others. I love that. I love that. And that's so synchronistic to what we were talking about too, letting go and understanding who are you? Who are you in the realm of everyone else? And really cutting that out and knowing that you carry your own cup. And it's okay to keep your cup separate from others. That's exactly what you're meant to do. And so that's what people are complimenting you on, is the fact that you've pulled yourself out of some really terrible situations. You've transformed. You, excuse me. You've understood that you're the home wherever you go. You become very synergistic with yourself. And in turn, you're able to give that love to others. And that's something that others find very refreshing on their own journey. Okay? If this resonates, leave it a thumbs up. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. And I'm going to get on out of here. But until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow humans that were drawn to this crystal of amethyst. Or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle in the beginning, this is going to be your pile on what compliments do they give you behind your back, or do people give you behind your back. I ask that you keep an open mind. They've been great. The readings have been wonderful, so just keep an open mind, okay? So with that being said, know that these are general readings, so take what resonates and leave what does not. Also keeping in mind that as you interact with the channel by liking, commenting, subscribing, and setting that notification bell, it allows me an opportunity to connect with your energy and get you out more resonant readings. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into your dice reading and find out what compliments do people give to you, pile 3, behind your back. What compliments do people give to pile 3, source, behind their back? What compliments do people give to pile 3, behind their back, source? So we have 3rd house, Aries, and Saturn energy. That you're one tough cookie. You are one tough cookie. Let's see here. They also see you as someone who really respects your bond with either your peers that you grew up with or your siblings. And you would do anything for them. You would sacrifice anything for them. You know, anytime we have Saturn present, Saturn is a planet of tough love, right? Like Saturn is a difficult planet. It makes us go through a lot of karmic cycles so that we learn our lessons. And it's not for cruel intentions, right? It's like, why do I keep hearing that song, right? Gotta be cruel to be kind, in the right measure. Cruel to be kind, it's a very good sign. Cruel to be kind means that I love you, baby. You gotta be cruel to be kind. So this kind of like what Saturn is. It's like, I have to be cruel to you to help you embrace your shadow, and you'll understand that it was actually an unconditional love that I did this for you. So when Saturn's coming up, it's almost like you're a mirror to people, and you're that cruelness, but through kindness. It's like maybe you told somebody the truth, and they didn't take it good the first time, but then suddenly something clicked along the way, and they understood what you meant, even if it was months down the road. And so the compliment that they have here is that they see how strong you are, how connected you are with your family, how you're not afraid to take that combustible action, right? Anytime we have Aries, it's like this very like, boom, in your face, I'm going to take a risk, and I don't care what happens because I'm going to take the risk because I'm so excited because I'm like a brand new person in the whole world and everything's so exciting and oh my gosh, let's go. Like, oh, that's really what Aries is. It's this very exciting energy, right? They see you as a leader now, and they see you as a leader of helping people through that darkness. This isn't just difficult times. This is helping people through the darkness. You are a light in the dark. Okay, and this is something that's been very resonant with all three piles today, is just helping other people through their hard times, their sufferings, their difficulties. For you, pile 3, it's a much broader sense. It's not about overcoming just family upsets or just relationship upsets or just hurt times. This is about your depression doesn't need to be your controlling vehicle. You can control your depression. Yes, depression is a very real thing, but there's also a way for you to become stronger than your depression. It's like feeling oppressed by emotions. That's what this feels like. And you have like a new idea, or you have like this new way of approaching it where you're just like telling people the truth. And you're telling people like, you know what, as long as we're there for each other, as long as we help each other out, we will overcome this together. And it's like, through the truth, people sometimes get really triggered by you. And so at first they may hate you. And then they come back around, and that's why these compliments are behind your back. Is because at first they can't stand you. They're like, oh, pile 3, like, oh, with their truth, and their, I can't, blah. And then all of a sudden, it's like it dawns on them that, whoa, pile 3 actually knew what they were talking about, and I was the one that was in the wrong. And so the compliment is almost like, it's more than a compliment, it's like gratitude in their heart for having the courage and the leadership and even being abrasive in telling them what they needed to hear at that time. And it might feel like a strange compliment, but it really is a compliment. It's just deep gratitude, because if you hadn't come into their life, then they wouldn't have healed from this, right? They also amend you for having those relationships that you have with either your siblings or with, someone that you grew up with, because a lot of people don't have that. That's not actually a common thing. Like, you'd think it'd be more common. You see it in movies all the time, but really it's kind of like one of those things. That's what we see on movies. Like the way parents are on movies, you'd think that'd be more common. But a lot of times it's just in the movies. It's just on TV, And so you have these beautiful connections, and people compliment you for that, because it's like they wish they had that. But they also know why you have that too, and it's because you're this person who you don't beat around the bush, and you don't do things the way that other people do. You do things your way, the way that's always worked for you. And it's not to say that every way that you've tried was right. It's like you had to make mistakes in order to find out what worked for you. You too went through Saturn energy, right? Your Saturn could have returned recently as well, and so there might be a lot of luck coming into your life. And so there's a compliment of people seeing how much you are gaining abundance and prosperity as well. So for pile 3 source, what compliments do people give pile 3 behind their backs? What compliments do people give to pile 3 behind their backs? You're a very fair person too. Like, it's like, that's what it's like, that cruel to be kind energy, right? It's like you're not telling people things to hurt them. You're telling people things because you see the truth. And it's like, it's almost like when people have some kind of belief or some kind of, like, I keep thinking of like PETA or like, Save the World or anything like that, like a group that you stand with, right? It's not like they're doing it to be mean. They're not trying to gaslight people into doing what they're doing. It's like they're just trying to educate. And it's like through that education, when people are ready to hear it, even if they're not ready to hear it when they're hearing it at first, eventually it will sink in. And as it sinks in, then they're capable of making the change on their own. And that's what they're complimenting you on, because it's like, you're this person at first, they just are like so irritated by like, why did I ever have to meet pile 3? And then after some time, they're like, oh, I get it. Like, I get it. Without pile 3, like, none of this would have happened. I would have never seen my own toxic traits. And so that's what they compliment you on. It's like they wish they could come back around and say thank you, but maybe they were really rude to you after you told them that, you know. And you don't, again, you're not doing it in a malicious way. You're just trying to educate them on what you're seeing, whether that's with your psychic sense, or whether that's with messages from beyond, or whether that's just with your inner knowing, right? Okay. It's whatever it is, you're just using it so that you can help better humanity. It's like the more educated that we are, the better things are. Yeah, people have a very twisted perspective when they first meet you. And they think that you're the one, like it's like this projection. They think that you're the one with the twisted perspective. But then it's like they compliment you on it because they're like, oh, wow, I was the one that was in the wrong. And it's not like admitting that necessarily as much as it is, there's this beautiful hummingbird outside right now. That's so awesome. I love hummingbirds. They're so cool. Anyways, that means healing from source too. Confirmation. Yeah, they get mad. They're like, it's like not even that they're admitting they're wrong. It's just like understanding, like, wow, I guess I had it twisted. And then after they're done with hating you, they realize, oh, I really do actually love pile 3. Like, I really am so grateful for them in my life. Like, that's the biggest compliment you could have, is gratitude, right? Like, your psychic sense, your intuition. Like, let's be real. Like, that's exactly what it is. You were your own worst enemy at one point in your life. You learned it through the hard way. And so through doing that, you just naturally help others without even thinking about it. It's just in your being. It's in your core of who you are. I think that's in the core of who most people are. It's just something that we suppress. And with this, it's like, that's exactly what's happening here. It's like you see that within others right away. You see when people are standing in their own way. You see when people are their own weakness, right? You're like, whoa, hold up. Maybe you should try it this way. And it's like, not that you're aggressive about it or anything like that. It's just a sense of education. It's not even being a know-it-all. It's just like, somehow, some way, it feels like it comes up in conversation. It feels like it comes up in those moments of just like, you're like, I don't know how we always get to this, but here we are again. Like, I gotta tell so-and-so this. I gotta tell them, like, this is what's going on. And it's like things that people don't want to work on, right? It's like things that people would rather conform to society. They'd rather be oppressed by this. Like I was saying, like this energy of depression, it's what's oppressing them. It's like, you're like, you know what? It's not that what you're feeling isn't valid. It's just that you're you're not realizing that you're in control of it. You're letting a situation control you. You're letting what everyone else is thinking about control you when you have such a beautiful personality to offer. And whatever avenue you go about to help people, it's like at first they're just really irritated by it. But then it's like almost like they can't get enough. And so the compliment here is that it's just like that. Like, I'm so glad that I ran into pile 3. Like, pile 3 is the shiznit. Like they didn't know it then, but they should know it now. You help them see negative situations where maybe once they thought that that was just acceptable, right? Like maybe they were just conforming and saying, oh, this is how people are, so I'm just going to let people treat me like this. And instead you're like, whoa, hold up, that's a really negative situation. Like, you don't need to put yourself in that. And instead of facing reality at first, it's like almost having to let that situation sink in and see the truth of it. And then once they saw the truth of it, they saw that you had reason all along, that you were really there with the best of intentions, right? But also they see you and they compliment the fact that you're so connected to source. It's like, wow, pile 3 is very connected. Pile 3 knows what's going on. Like, pile 3 is very aware, very conscious of things. Also, the other thing that's coming in for you, pile 3, is to make sure that you're getting enough sleep. That was just a message that's outside of this, because I was fine doing the other readings, and then I get to your reading, and it was like all of a sudden I'm like yawning all the time, and I'm like, oh, I feel tired, like I feel exhausted. But I'm not. Like, I'm not exhausted. I'm not really tired. Like, it's just, once I got to your reading, it was just like, I feel very tired. I feel like you are very tired, that you're not getting enough sleep. Something's keeping you up at night. And it's something that's not worth worrying about, is what I'm hearing right now. It's something that it's like, it's already taken care of. That's what I'm hearing. It's already taken care of. Like, it's like you're like, oh my gosh, when's it going to come through? When is this going to happen? When am I going to get news on this? And it's like they're telling me that it's already taken care of. And to find a way to bring yourself into a balanced state before going to bed, and you'll sleep much better. So that's maybe meditating before bed, maybe not watching TV right before bed, you know, and maybe not being on the phone right before bed, like really finding a way to decompress, reading a book right before bed, like an actual book, not on your phone, but like an actual book would help. Something along those lines. Reading the newspaper if you don't like to read books, you know, like finding something to really get your eyes off of the screen and more or less relax. Like maybe you need to paint right before bed, or maybe you need to journal right before bed. Something like that. Or write down all your worries on a piece of paper and then fold it up and tell Source, like, I give this to you, Source. I don't need to worry about it anymore because I know you've got me. And then put it like under your pillow or something like that, or in your pillowcase, so that you can just let it go and then it'll figure itself out. Like, but something's keeping you up at night. I'm just so exhausted right now. Like, it's like I feel like you're ready to give up on something, and there's no need to give up because you're already living what you're supposed to be living. Like, you're doing everything that you've been meant to do this whole time, and it's like maybe you're not getting the confirmation. Maybe that's why you're here on this reading. It's like, do people really appreciate what I'm doing? Like, do they really even care about what it is that I'm doing for them? Like, how much energy I put out there for them? Like, do people even really care? And it's like, people do. They may not say it, but people really, really, really do appreciate you. They really do feel blessed that you're in their life. Okay, pile 3? Yeah. Like, you see, that's the thing. Like, that's what people compliment you on, is your intuition, on the ability to see the torments of their soul that they're not even privy to. That's what they compliment you on, pile 3. Like, that's a huge thing. Know how big that is. That's a huge thing. People also compliment you on how easy it is to fall in love with you once they realize that you're not intentionally out to get them. Everybody's just so used to getting hurt, and so hurt people, and you're not trying to hurt anybody. You're just trying to live your life and do the best that you can. And so it's like, once they realize this, they're like, oh wow, it's actually really easy to fall in love with pile 3. Look at that. You've learned how to balance out your own upsets. You've learned how to heal yourself. The only reason that you can see these injuries, these wounds, these upsets in another person's soul, in another person's aura, is because you've had to heal your own. Again, it's like, it's much deeper than that. You may be a psychologist, you may be a therapist. Like, it feels like you really talk to people a lot, and you talk to their problems. Like I'm saying, like, these are things that come up in conversation. That's what's giving me this idea. Maybe you're a marriage counselor, or maybe you're a counselor like at the school or something like that. And if that doesn't resonate with you, it's okay. It just means that they're, you know, like, you're just meant to do that in life. It's not that that's meant to be your job title. It's just that's something you naturally gravitate towards because it's just in your heart. And it's like, that's what it's saying. It's like, you've learned how to heal so much of yourself and your own upsets, but it's giving me this feeling of like people trusting you, of people coming to you with their problems, but then being mad because you're not telling them what they want to hear. You're telling them what they need to hear. And that is what they get irritated about. But they still come back because they know they know that with you they can grow. They know that with you they'll have victory. They know that with you they'll overcome and they'll grow spiritually. You know, the Chariot is all about spiritual growth. It's like taking that next venture And when we think about the major arcana or the mystery cards in my deck, okay, and we think about them, they're groups of 7, right? And in each group of 7, you have certain lessons you need to learn, okay? And so you figure 1 through 7, that's the first group of 7, and that's like overcoming the physical world. Then you have the next 7, which is like really integrating and understanding the 4D. And then you have the last set of 7, which is actually being able to connect with the highest divine light that lives within us. So whichever dimension you believe that is. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's just talking about that that's the next step. And that's what ascension is. And to understand that this is a cycle. And then you have the Fool. And the Fool can be card 0. Or in my deck, it doesn't have a number. And the reason why is because the Fool is the one that journeys across this. Okay, the Fool is the one that goes through this. And so that's exactly what you're showing people, is how to overcome the worldly connection. This being so ingrained in the 3D. And so what people compliment you on is that you help make them more aware, especially for this to come out clarifying the Hanged Man in reverse. We have this, you're helping to show them spiritual awareness. Whether that's what you embarked upon or not, it's like through your energy and through you being you, you help others understand a spiritual awareness that they were not privy to before. Whoa. Okay, the whole deck just split. This is not what was on the bottom of the deck, but this is what's coming out. And then we have the Hermit on the bottom of the deck here. Like, you had to move away from your own upsets. You had to leave your own upsets. You had to become your own person in taking action towards your own understanding of self. Like, this turned into your cycle, right? You leaving bad situations so that you could look into yourself, so that you could understand other toxic behaviors, so that you could look back into self, so that you could understand other toxic behaviors and look back into self. And this became your pattern so that you could heal. Yeah, with the Ace of Swords underneath, Source saying that's the truth. You had to overcome some really deep-rooted wounds from your childhood, and that's what you help others heal. That's why I'm saying you may be a therapist. That may not resonate with everybody, but that is something that's coming through. You know, and to help heal others, you could just talk to people, you know. Just being you is healing. That's it. It's just this deep energy that's coming through where you actually help others become themselves, even though at first they're frustrated because you're helping them experience an egoic death. Yeah. Summer solstice radiance. People compliment you on how bright you shine. The light that you bring into the room. Like, when you come into the room, people naturally gravitate towards you. Even the ones that are really triggered by you, like, they still gravitate towards you. It's like a moth to the flame. It's like, you're the flame. You're shining so bright. They know they're going to get burned by you. Right? And not in a bad way. Don't take it like, oh my gosh, I'm a terror. No, you're not. You're not. It's just, you shine so bright that even the people who are low vibrational, they're like a moth to the flame. They're still going to gravitate towards you because there's something about you that they see within themselves. And you're learning right now. You're still in the process of learning your own journey. Opening your own door. Right? Number 22 coming out. A power number here. A master number. 2 is all about trusting the process with Sacred Ibis here. Trusting what's happening. Trusting that you're meant to do this. Trusting that part of your journey is to trigger people deeply. And that may be frustrating because you may feel that, right? Look, we had the Fighters flip over. Okay? I'll show you the image in just a second, but the Fighters says, I fight my resistance to accepting the dualities of life. Right? It's understanding that there is no good without the bad. There is no bad without the good. They have to coexist. Otherwise, we wouldn't exist. And that's been something that you're learning. But look at this fight. It's like, this is exactly what happens. Like, people are fighting against you. It's like you come in and they fight you, but understanding that you're also seeing a mirror of what you've done for yourself. And people compliment the fact that you actually don't fight back. Like, you just literally say what's on your mind. You say what's coming through. You say the channeled message that you get. You say it. And then people compliment you because no matter how much they try to make you fight, you're not a fighter. You're not here to fight. You already fought those battles. You fought them within yourself. You already had a resistance to accepting the dualities, but now you're accepting the dualities within your life. On the bottom of the deck, look at this. 45, the intuitive. I am tuned into the energy of those I care about. Look at this beautiful picture. I'm not really going to talk about this picture here, but I just want you to look at this beautiful picture. Okay, that's the thing. Like, you just know. Like, we talked about that with the Pope-S coming out here. It's like that very intuitive energy. You're just tuned into your intuition. And people are fighting that because it's like you're so connected with the divine. You're bringing that light to the earth. You're bringing that high vibrational energy to the 3D. And that's what people, they're complimenting, but only after they've been burned by it. I knew that this was going to come out. This came out in another pile. I just knew this was going to come out. And I didn't talk about it. That's okay. No big deal. We have Green Man Synergy. You're creating a synergy between yourself. And I was saying that with these two. And that's why I was thinking about this card when I saw these, when it split and this came out. Like, this is your pattern, right? That's your synergy. Is seeing your toxic behavior, healing self. Seeing your toxic behavior, healing self. Seeing your toxic pattern, healing self. Seeing toxic situations, healing self. Like, that's the synergy of the situation, right? And that's the thing that you're bringing to others. You're bringing balance. So you're like the bees and they're the flowers, and it's like you're helping to pollinate them while they still give you nectar to go and make your honey. So it's like this energy of like, you wouldn't have ever realized this about yourself without these people that you're triggering, right? The dualities in life. And look at this, number 11. So you had number, what was it, 22 that came out? Was that? I thought 22 came out for some reason. Oh yeah, over here. Over here, we have 22 and 11 coming out. Look at that. And 11, 22 might be a powerful number you see a lot. But 11 is all about having faith in the process, right? 2 is trusting the process. 1 is having faith in the process. We have power in Deer. And look, she's holding her emotions in her antlers, but look at how strong she is. Her emotions are huge, right? Who she is like the depth of who she is. It's so big. It's not something that someone could ever understand in just a short amount of time. But you're glowing. You're the moon glowing so bright in the darkness. You're the sun that lights up the whole world, right? Because you've learned how to carry your emotions in your mind and not allow that to be the determining factor on how you act. And that's what people are complimenting you on, is that you're very powerful. You're in this place of being able to really understand who you are, and likewise help others to understand who they are, even if at first it feels like you're being cruel to be kind. So I am going to read this out of the book for you, see what this is. We have Pisces, intimacy, intuition, and compassion. So the one thing that keeps coming up here is intuition. People are complimenting you on your intuition. Even at first, they did not like it. Now, they can't help but compliment it because it's like, whoa, pile 3, like, whoa, like they're on their stuff. Like, they actually know what's going on. Like, they're not just being a BSer. Like, they're not all full of balderdash. Like, they're actually understand and know what's going on, what's happening. They're hip with it, okay? They're hip with it. So Pisces, this evolved energy sits at the edge of the zodiac where the journeying soul dissolves into the ethers from which it came from. Now with this line, I just want to mention exactly what I was saying about the Fool, how he journeys from the 3D, the 4D, and then becomes one with the divine. Like, that's the process of ascension. And I love that that's what this talks about in the very first line here. At home in the spiritual planes, Pisces is tapped into the collective and the divine. Neptune ruled, it feels the collective longing, which comes through as inspiration and is expressed through creativity. These are artists, healers, and gentle beings. Softened spiritual and emotional boundaries make them empathic and even psychic, which also gives them a need for solitude to identify what's theirs and what isn't. Right? We said that right here. I cannot make this stuff up. I can't. This is for real. This is unfolding as we speak. Okay? Compassion is their gift, and being of service their highest expression. So you might wonder, why do they even want to tell me their stuff? Why do I have to hear it? It's because this is your highest expression. Experiencing this. Profound sensitivity makes Pisces beautiful and also leads it astray. A blurry definition between physical and spiritual self and other makes it difficult to know where they end and another begins. It's a confusing energy to experience on Earth, which is why Pisces is also linked to escapism, addiction, and self-sacrifice. Running away or martyrdom can be attractive options as they alleviate the earthly pressure of self-definition. Your energetics here are intuition, sensitivity, compassion, and intimacy. Hold on just a second. My dog was laying on my other dog's feet and she was trying to move and she can't move because she's older and she's like, I'm so uncomfortable here. So that's another thing. You might be really uncomfortable with this, but this is you expressing the highest truth of who you are. And that means that we have to get out of our comfort zone, right? So your energetics are intuition, sensitivity, compassion, and intimacy, forgiveness. Your experiences are psychic connections serving something greater than self. In the shadow, there are no boundaries. Martyrdom, escapism, and addiction. It says, let your body fade into the atmosphere for a moment. Forget your name and your identity. Connect with your boundless soul. In this ancient place of oneness, can you find forgiveness for yourself and all earthly life, like you would a child? Try to live each day seeing the physical world as a sacred illusion, and see all human beings as spiritual creatures having a human experience. Forgive yourself and others. It's your path to freedom. Carry this softness with you while remembering you can invite someone into your heart without letting them into your house. Beautiful. And I love that came up because it's like this ancient place of oneness, right? Would you find forgiveness for yourself? This is understanding the dualities in this life and forgiving others. That's a part of the duality. That's a part of accepting the dualities, is knowing that freedom comes from forgiveness. Not forgiving them because what they did was right. Not forgiving them because you're letting them off the hook. Forgiving them because you're cutting the ties connected to that mishap. And you're learning that as you go. You're learning that. That's something that you're learning. But know that as you learn this, you actually give permission to others to learn this about themselves as well. Through your kindness, through your compassion, through your intuition, through your ability to show up for others in a way that no one else has. Even if at first they're upset. The biggest thing that I take away from this reading, pile 3, is that the one thing that they compliment you on the most is gratitude for you being you and everything that you do. And that's the biggest compliment. That's the highest creed of compliment that anyone can receive. Is just knowing that you've changed their life and you impacted their life in a way that wouldn't have otherwise happened. And that's what they compliment you behind your back. And that's really hard to tell someone to their face. Especially if they treated you like Dookie when you gave them your love and your kindness. Okay? I love you, pile 3. It's amazing that you're here. I'm so happy to have had this reading. If it resonates, hit that thumbs up button down below. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. I'm going to get on out of here. And until next time, stay human. Bye.